Republican voters across the country are sick and tired of Republicans because they never do anything to hold this government accountable. Republicans go out on the campaign trail and go on TV and do their 5-minute hearing videos and post up on social media and say all this garbage about how they're going to fight it and stop it. I feel like many of the American people that think that Republicans in Congress completely fail them. I feel the same way, and I'm a Republican member of Congress.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the Democrats who are currently having a full-blown meltdown. They're boohoo, whining, and crying on the House floor because Marjorie Taylor Greene has reintroduced a resolution to censure Rashida Tlaib for inciting an insurrection at the Capitol at a pro-Palestine rally, in which you had some of these rally-goers invade the Capitol building and occupy the Capitol building. Okay, they disrupted an official proceeding. There were hundreds of arrests made, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is simply trying to hold Democrats to the standard that they set when they boohoo, whined, and cried about January 6th. Okay, called it an insurrection, but every single time we see leftists basically do what I would define as something very similar to what happened on January 6th, they want to try to pretend like it's not the same thing, right? They are just exercising their freedom of speech. However, freedom of speech is not a luxury that is given to people on the right, and that is a problem. And because of that, Republicans, it is very important that strong Republicans with coordination, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, at least in this situation, make the Democrats feel punishment for a precedent that they set. And that is basically what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing after reintroducing the resolution to censure Rashida Tlaib for inciting an insurrection at the Capitol. Take a look.
How about Republicans that actually care about the issues that matter to Republican voters and Americans?
Like censuring Rashida Tlaib?
Or just people who are
impeaching people, holding people accountable, maybe stopping the weaponized government. I don't know. I'm on a roll this morning.
Yeah, that's right. Well, is she gonna get censured?
She should be.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 censure resolutions. I brought mine. Mine actually addresses the real issues. The other one's like a little slap on the hand.
Can you show? That's the camera right there. Can you show us the resolution?
Oh yeah, here's mine. It actually addresses October 18th, which was no different than January 6th when people came in and occupied the Capitol complex.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, again, of course, Democrats, they boohoo, whined, and cried and melted down on the House floor in support of Rashida Tlaib, trying to defend her against this censure, this formal denouncement of her actions that led up to protesters, rioters, taking over the Capitol. Take a look.
I can't believe I have to say this, but Palestinian people are not disposable. We are human beings, just like anyone else. My city, my grandmother, like all Palestinians, just wants to live her life with freedom and human dignity we all deserve. Speaking up to save lives, Mr. Chair, no matter faith, no matter ethnicity, should not be controversial in this chamber. The cries of the Palestinian and Israeli children sound no different to me. Why? What I don't understand is why the cries of Palestinians sound different to you all. We cannot lose our shared humanity, Mr. Chair.
This body needs empathy and compassion for all people, not just people that look like the majority of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. And maybe because of your lack of diversity, you lack the cognitive and emotional ability to recognize diverse opinions when they speak truth to power. And you absolutely need to open up your mind to other people and other experiences, especially when they are Muslim and when they are women and when they are people of color. You had a member of your party call my colleague a terrorist, and you didn't censor her. But we're having
Gentleman's
this
time has
conversation now
expired.
about your interpretation of words.
Members are reminded to direct their comments to the chair.
Of a lack of care and a lack of understanding and a lack of seeing the humanity of folks who look like Rashida Tlaib. It's outrageous that my colleagues are blatantly attempting to silence the only Palestinian American representative right here. It's outrageous, but it's not surprising. And let me tell you, it's not surprising because this place is where 1,700 members of Congress, this elected body, enslaved black people. It's not surprising because they thought it was right. It's not surprising because this is a place where members continue to claim that the insurrection on the Capitol just appeared to look like a normal tourist visit. It's not surprising because this is the place where our black and brown staff members repeatedly speak of experiencing racism and sexism, Islamophobia, get pushed off of elevators, xenophobia, and more right here in this workplace. This is the place. And let me say this, she mourns for the 1,400 Israelis.
The gentlelady's
that
time
lost
has
their lives.
expired.
She mourns for the 10,000, and she will not stop. No
gentlelady's
more.
time
no
has
more
expired.
ceasefire now. And she takes the death threats that you all send that they
The gentlelady is no longer recognized. The gentleman from Maryland.
To her, the desire to save lives is greater
Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
than what I said.
We'll reserve.
The gentleman from Maryland reserves. The gentleman from Georgia is recognized.
And to nobody's surprise, right? Of course, you have some weak Republicans like Ken Buck, who's announced that he's not running anymore. He's given up, right? He's throwing in the towel. He's coming out here and defending Rashida Tlaib against these resolutions to have her censured, even though there are some Democrats that are on board with backing the censure of Rashida Tlaib.
But it is also wrong for Congress to take this action at a time when we have serious issues that we face, to take an action and take down the words, to strike the words, to censure fellow member, no matter how incorrect we believe she may be, is wrong. We lower ourselves when we try to take action against someone else for their words. We all go back to our districts, and thank goodness social media hasn't caught every one of us with everything that we say back in our districts, because we would all be standing here. This is a wrong time to do this. It is the wrong action to take. Let's pass a resolution condemning this kind of language, condemning anti-Semitism on college campuses and elsewhere. But it is absolutely wrong to vote for this motion, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Maryland reserves.
We reserve.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? Typical weak backstabbing Republican. Good thing that he is on his way out. Good thing he's quitting. Now, the resolution that was advanced actually came from Representative Rich McCormick from Georgia. Okay, there were two resolutions. There was one that Marjorie Taylor Greene had, and then there was another one. And the one from Rich McCormick is the one that actually advanced through the House. Now, tomorrow, apparently they're going to vote on this, this resolution, and then that will officially allow the House to censure Rashida Tlaib, which looks like it's likely to happen because there are Democrats that are on board with it because they don't like the things that Rashida Tlaib is saying, not because of her actually leading the mob and inciting a riot at the Capitol. They don't like her words, right? They don't like her speech. So with that being said, what are my thoughts on this? Well, my thoughts are this, right? I think personally, I don't like the fact that Republicans voted against the first resolution because Marjorie Taylor Greene made the language too broad in the sense that she connected it back to what happened on January 6th. And the reason why I say that is because I'm much more comfortable censuring Rashida Tlaib for actually inciting a mob to go into the Capitol, okay, rather than censuring her for her actual speech, right? And the reason why I say that is because I personally feel that censuring Rashida Tlaib is really more about sending a message to Democrats in regards to the precedent that they set on January 6th, where they essentially argued that Trump, because he gave a speech at the Capitol and the people that he gave a speech to happened to overrun the Capitol, committed an act of insurrection, therefore he should be disqualified to be president, he should be impeached, he need to go to jail, They need to take away his business empire. They're basically trying to ruin the man's life over it, right? And again, all of that has to do with the fact that people went into the Capitol to disrupt an official proceeding, which is exactly what Rashida Tlaib did, right? She incited the same thing, in my opinion. Now, do I personally think that what Rashida Tlaib did was an insurrection? No. Do I personally think that what happened on January 6th was an insurrection? No. But again, that's not the point. The point is to show Democrats that when you set these type of precedents, you have to be held to the same standard that you set, okay? So some people think that it is more appropriate to censure Rashida Tlaib for her anti-Semitism, more so than her role in the rioters going to the Capitol. I think that's just incorrect, right? I actually am more uncomfortable with censuring her for her words rather than, again, connecting it back to January 6th. Because best believe, if/when, hopefully this Israel-Palestine situation, becomes peaceful soon. When this conflict becomes peaceful, they're going to go back to accusing Republicans of being anti-Semitic, and next thing you know, they'll be censuring or trying to kick out Republicans for anti-Semitism, right? So I don't want to necessarily go there with that type of precedent, right? That's why I'm uncomfortable with the censure over the anti-Semitism, because again, according to Democrats, anything that they disagree with is anti-Semitism. But regardless, I think that she should be censured, okay? And we should make that connection to January 6th, because ultimately, at the end of the day, Democrats need to be held to the same standard that they created. Again, these are the same people that removed Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committees over things that she said before she even got elected into Congress, right? Things that she said before she even got elected into Congress, they punished her for, right? So now Republicans need to grow some cojones and to actually show Democrats that, hey, if this is the standard that you're setting, you're going to be held to that standard. Now, there's some people that say, no, she should not have connected it back to January 6th, because essentially what you'd be doing is that you'd be admitting that what happened on January 6th was an insurrection and Trump was wrong. Well, my response to that is, well, do you think if they don't connect it back to January 6th that somehow, some way, that's going to make the Democrats not continue to go after Trump, right? That doesn't stop the Democrats from going after Trump. But if you do connect it to January 6th, and you say, well, no, we're censuring her because she committed an insurrection, regardless of whether or not you actually believe it's an insurrection, we're just holding Democrats to their same standards. That might actually make the Democrats think twice in the future about whether or not they want to try to punish a Republican for giving a speech outside the Capitol, and then the crowd just so happens to go into the Capitol or to try to overrun the Capitol, and then you're punishing the person that gave the speech, right? And, Trump's case, he actually told the protesters to be peaceful, to remain peaceful, and he essentially is getting his life ruined over it, okay? So again, I personally think that the wrong move here is to censor her for, or to censure her for anti-Semitism. I think that the right move is to actually censure her for, again, her role in inciting the crowd to go into the Capitol, okay, to overtake Congress. That's actually what the right move is. But regardless, she should be censured. Republicans at some point need to start giving the Democrats a taste of their own medicine, or else there's really no point at this point, right? Because again, these guys, Democrats, they don't give a damn. Anytime they get a chance to punish somebody, they will, okay, to punish a political opponent. Republicans, on the other hand, they like to play go along to get along. They like to play nice, and you don't win anything from that. You don't win anything by turning the other cheek and saying, well, we're not going to become them. We're not going to do what they're doing, right? You're not going to get anywhere with that. What's going to happen is that they're just going to continue to do what they're doing, and there's not going to be no pushback, and they're not even think twice about it because they know that there's no punishment. Democrats did not lose one vote from choosing to remove Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committees, okay, because of things that she said before she was even elected. They didn't lose one vote over that. Republicans are not going to lose any votes from trying to kick Rashida Tlaib out of the House, right, because she caused an insurrection, or censuring her for that as well. They're not going to lose any votes over it. So trying to, play go along and get along, in my opinion, I think is ridiculous. But hey, we'll see if they actually end up censuring her. I think that a censure is just, that's a slap on the wrist. It's just words. It's just a formal denouncement. She really should be expelled from Congress if we want to really hold Democrats to the same standard. But unfortunately, they don't have that much cojones, right? This is why Jamal Bowman, he's still in Congress, even though he should be expelled as well too, right? Talk about a guy who, is not smart enough or intelligent enough to be in Congress. That guy should not be talking about anybody's intelligence, right? Because clearly he has a few screws loose. The elevator doesn't go all the way to the top floor with that guy. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.